All right, everybody, welcome back to our Training Day podcast. Omar Mitchell is in the building with me in New Jersey,
Yes,
fresh
sir.
off a Pittsburgh Steelers win.
Yes, sir.
First win of the season. I ain't mad at
Here
you,
we
bro.
go.
I'm
Here
not.
we go.
FFL Midwest is in the building. And if you can tell by his logo, it's the same colors as the Steelers. George Pickens, brother. I like that run.
Yeah, man.
That defense, Hawking.
They're trying to put it together, man.
1-1.
Yes.
How you feeling?
1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. Yeah. Definitely late night before my flight, but it was definitely worth the wait.
Well, you pulled it out late, so I like that. And ain't nothing's worse than 0-2.
Right.
That is
right.
like walking a plank.
Man.
So, hey, man, it's good to have you in on our Training Day podcast. You guys are averaging senior vice president numbers over 350 families on average a month. Mm-hmm. And, we're loving to have you in today, especially you and Dana, just kind of go over some of your business structure, what you guys are doing, where you're headed. Yeah. And obviously you're seeing a lot every single day, what's happening with live dials, what's happening with bringing in new agents, what's happening with recruiting sources, how we getting them in, how we getting them going, right. How we building leaders, how we developing leaders. Like you're really in the crux of everything at doing those numbers per month. Top down, Omar. Like,
sure.
What are you seeing from a blimp side view at FFL Midwest?
Well, I think we're seeing growth. I think we got a lot of folks that are hungry, that want to do this.
Love it.
And it's exciting trying to get them pointing in the same direction, right? Right. Making sure they understand they can block out all the noise and helping them focus on what's not noise and what's actually true to this business and what's going to help their business go push forward. And, it's one day at a time, mm-hmm. one agent at a time, but I think we're moving in the right direction and looking forward to implement some of the stuff we already talked about today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I mean, like when you think about it, as you said, one agent at a time, one day at a time. Yeah. When we think about, looking at this business and you think about blocking out the noise, as you said, or, figuring it out. Like we talk about, agents coming on board, they have a life insurance license. What are they here for? Right. What do they want to do? How do we get to the crux of that and then build them to help them get there? How do we help people have a mindset of figuring it out?
That's, throughout my career in insurance, that's been kind of my thing. It's always been figuring that process out, not necessarily knowing what to do, right. but not knowing is no excuse for getting it done. Right.
That's
right?
a great point.
So it's that fight, it's that grind every day. You're gonna get punched in the face, and you're ready to punch back on a daily basis. I talked about on one of our meetings a couple weeks ago about playing as much offense as possible because right. It's almost like the new age, it's almost like a run and shoot offense. You got to put some points on the board because you're going to give up a touchdown. You're going to have a turnover. That's a part of the business, whether that be chargebacks, whether that be roll-ups, whether that be agents, quitting or this or that. You have to put enough offense to, on the board to win the game. And when we're talking with the agents, even from a really small level, beginner's level, that grind is the foundation of what we do. You have to come to work every day, put your equipment on every day, and be willing to work and grind.
Yeah, but you make a great point. When you say not knowing doesn't mean not figuring it out, right? That might be one of the quintessential points to successful agents versus non-successful agents. The desire to find answers. We've done a really good job of, trying to make the answers very available to agents where they don't have to find or figure it out. It's like, I think about when the company started and how much stuff we had to figure out versus, everyone's got a website full of information, manuals, pamphlets, text, automated text messaging. Everything's coming to the agent in their hands. I wonder, Omar, I don't know, but I wonder if we're making it softer and a little harder for people to be successful.
That's a great point. Because, man, you're right. I mean, every time you turn around, there's another meeting, there's another training, there's another podcast, there's another YouTube video there's so much content out there.
Right.
Just on every agency platform. And it's in their face. Right. Like, we have a schedule throughout the week. And I tell people, get out of the textbook, get out of the podcast, get to work. That is for non-productive hours. If you want to dig into that stuff at night, but during the day, you got to be on the phone with some clients, in the face with some clients.
Right.
How do you do that? Right. So for me, it's always, it's not how much you're working, it's what you're doing at work. Right. Are you faking? Are you wasting time saying, I'm not ready to make this phone call because I don't feel too comfortable with this script, or it's. I think you're right. I think we have so much, and for me too, as a manager, as a producing manager, sometimes I rely on the technology to help folks. Oh, go look at this podcast. Go listen to this guy say this. No, when I'm sometimes the best teacher to my agents. Right. But it's that time, getting to know the people, figuring out where their hot buttons are, and really making them understand that this is going to be a grind, and you have to be ready for it, right?
Yeah, man. I was with my son yesterday, and he had homework to do, right? And I mean, he could do just about everything but his homework. And so he would have his homework on the table. Mm-hmm. Then he would drift over to me and start asking me questions, non-homework related. And then for a second, I go, son, what are you supposed to be doing right now? My homework, Dad. Mm-hmm. Why are you not doing it? Yeah. Then I went down to the basement to get on my computer, and he came downstairs and laid down on the floor. I said, you see what your problem is, son? You want to do everything else but what you're supposed to be doing. And I don't know why you have this trait. Like, why are you doing this? And at the end of the day, I had to basically stick the homework in his face and make him do it while he was looking for ways to procrastinate. And it was very symbolic to what you're saying. Yeah. Where, dude, I don't think it's that complicated. If you just if he would have just put his head down and got the homework done, it would have been done in 7, 8 minutes, 9, 10 minutes. We're done. Now you can do all the other things that you've been drifting away from. Yeah. My daughter's the exact opposite. She locks in, and then she does her extracurricular stuff. Now, how's this going to play out? I don't know, Omar. Here's how I know it plays out in our business, right? The people who procrastinate and take all day to dial instead of dialing all day, or the people that, are on the Zoom, but they're not working, it's more painful for them. Now, you've seen it both ways. You've seen people go in and get it done and make it happen, and you've seen, obviously, people procrastinate. What are you saying to an agent from day one to try to get the other result? You don't fully control it, but you're looking to give them the best opportunity possible to win, which is why they said they came here. Yeah. What are you doing in your onboarding process to get them to understand the importance of getting things done and moving their mindset and career forward?
Right. So I try to get it as personal as possible with the agent, because they're human beings just like myself, and we all have stuff going on. All of us, we're not immune to it. So I try to figure out what their hot buttons are. What are the reasons why they're doing this? What do they need to? Who are they doing this for? Why are they doing this? And a lot of times, it's not so much the hot buttons; it's the excuses they make on why they can't be successful or why they're not they're not hitting the performance goals that they want. And I try to tell them, but those are the very reasons why you should be doing it. Like having children and having a busy schedule is the reason why you should be working as hard as you should. A lot of us have different things going on in, like, for instance, in my household, my mother-in-law lives with us. She has early onset Alzheimer's. And people say, talk about that process and dealing with a elder that lives within your house that's losing their mind. Right? It's difficult. Right. Every day is a fight. Right? But it's almost like people don't understand. That's one of the reasons that pushes me so hard. Right? The reason why I'm pushing myself, to be a great producer and to build an agency is because that I have those reasons that are pushing me.
Amen.
And when I'm talking with agents, the reason why you have kids, right? You have difficulties, or you may be dealing with illnesses within the family is those are the reasons why you should excel at this business. Use that as fuel. Put that battery in your back. Put that adversity to work for you. Don't make it a crutch. Make it a motivation for yourself. So, I just try to make sure that's an understanding that they know it's going to be a fight, and whatever ammunition they can bring with them into the foxhole, it's going to push them towards that next level.
That's facts. And, well said. I mean, I love it. I mean, I've been thinking like that for a long time, but I remember, saying that to someone and they got mad at me. So like, you have a kid. That's a reason why you should. At the time, I'm trying to motivate them. I don't even have kids. Like, do you have kids? I'm like, dude, listen, man, I'm not here to fight with you. I'm trying to help you. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate that, though, because like you said, and it's your motivation, your mother-in-law being at the house with early onset, that's your motivation to continue to push, to make things easier. Boy, it's usually harder before it gets easier. Yes, Omar?
Yes.
Okay.
Tremendously sometimes.
Yeah. And having to push through that, what do you do mentally? What do you do mindset-wise?
Yeah.
For you? So
I love Jocko Willink, right? And I listened to a bunch of his podcasts, and he talked about, it was a juxtaposition of logic over emotion. And sometimes when you're emotionally tapped out, you have to use that logic, understanding what you're fighting for and pushing for, and that's going to make you make the logical step. Well, I still need to keep going. I haven't hit my goal. And sometimes logic don't make sense, don't add up. And sometimes you just got to grit your teeth and bear it and push through it.
Wow.
So for me, there's always a reason to keep pushing forward. Right. Whether it's me, my emotional side that's telling me like it's time to kick some butt, or it's my logical side like no one else is going to do it for you. No one else is throwing you a life raft. You're going to have to go ahead and figure this out, on a daily basis. So I and it's always a fight. It's never, and either way, I'm winning. right. So whatever I got to lean on to succeed and win, I'm going to do that.
That's good stuff, man. And as you're looking at your deal right now, and trying to obviously be more profitable and continue to build leaders and grow and develop leaders, what are you focusing on from a structural standpoint, business wise?
Sure. So the focus is on what I can control the most, which is the direct agents. As the agency grows, I try to separate the agencies that are doing well, right, that are at least at that VP level, and push those off to the side. And I'm always continuing to build that next VP, right.
Amen.
That's the focus. If I can find someone that I can put in place or develop, that's the goal. So it's been a lot of not so much a revamp, but a refocus.
Yes, sir.
On what is important for the agency, how I can put myself in a position to help as many people as possible. And the way forward is really focusing more on the directs and finding that next leader for the agency, right?
Yeah, that's strong. Now, when you're looking for a leader, What is it that you identify to make you say, hey, I'm ready to win with this person? Like, what are the things you're looking for?
Yeah. I've looked for people that are like me where it's not excuses. Right. Don't get me wrong. We all have those days, bro. Like, or you just getting punched in the face, and it's just like you just doing whatever you can to cover up and get back to your corner, right. Where you can get somebody to, hey, tell me what's going on. How is it? Where am I missing? So for me, it's just it's that person that has that fight in them, right. Where at the end of the day, I know they're going to figure it out because they have that purpose. Like, I may not know exactly what I'm doing. I may not be doing it correctly, but I know I'm going to figure it out by out grinding people. Right. It's the work ethic, man. And
Yeah.
that replaces talent every day of the week and twice on Sunday, man. I mean, if you have a guy that or woman that is focused and willing to get in the foxhole and fight with you and take the lumps, but continue to learn and build through adversity, because everybody's happy when the sun's shining. Everybody. When when the tide's rising, everybody's rising to the top. But when when the bullets are flying and it's and you taking hits, what are you gonna do?
Oh,
right.
I love Omar, bro.
Listen.
You always come from a place of straight grit and work ethic.
Yeah.
Like, I love it, man. It's just core, competencies that you walk through the door with. And it's every time I hear you talk, you can help raise the hairs on my back because it's just sheer grit. Like, there's nobody, there's nothing that nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're so self-aware of that. Like, if you're not doing it, it's not going to happen. And, I love that. I mean, you're also just extremely coachable, willing to take feedback and grow and adapt. I mean, so, man, it's just like there's no place you can't go. When you think about Midwest 2023, 2024, what do you see, my brother?
It's the future's bright, but there's a caveat to that, right? Because, like you said, the focus is to build this thing, like another. But I know that it's going to take more than just me, right? I can run and fight every day, but it's still not going to if we don't look for the people that are willing to run with us, right? If we're not looking for individuals that are willing to go ahead and fight just like we are, it's all going to be for naught. I make money, I may do well, but my goal is to share that with other leaders. Like, how can we get other people to that level where it's not, like you said, not leading from a place of lack. Right. Right. That's powerful, man.
That's a different beast, right?
And when you can get on the other side where you can see the fruits of your labor, right, and actually, it's not necessarily about me seeing; it's about the leaders within the organization seeing that, man, and that's what gives me goosebumps, man. If they can only get to that point, right. It doesn't make this business easy,
right?
It just makes it much, much more worth it, man.
Dude, and you're so close. Like, you've put in all kinds of work. You have budding leaders that are growing with you. You have, great staff. You're still in the field working. I mean, you're this, like, it's so many things are working for you and really not against you. And again, you're also willing to dig, put your shovel in the ground and dig holes if you had to.
Yeah.
Which is, like, to me, that is one of the top attributes of an entrepreneur. Hey, man, it's burning. Rome is burning. All right, well, I'm out there with freaking hose, and I'm trying to put out the fire because, like we said, there's who else is going to do it, right? And although we're trying to inspire leaders and have other people grow with us, yes, on the flip side of that is I always got to be really willing to dive in, roll up my sleeves, put my hands in the dirt, so that this thing can continue to move forward. You know what I mean? You're the best example of the leader that's going out there to do it and to show your people it can be done. So, man, I appreciate you so much. When you're thinking about recruiting and you're thinking about your recruiting strategies for Midwest, you know, what comes to mind? I mean, what is the number one way you're bringing in people?
So I wouldn't say there's a number one way, but we all know there's a most effective way, right? Right. So I've tried so many things in the past, whether they be cold market, warm market. Obviously, the warm market blitz that we have on the live dials, but it's really focusing on however we receive. We're blessed to bring someone into this organization. If we can immediately focus on how we can help them build their agency,
Right.
and not assuming that that is, it doesn't really matter what necessarily they want, right. And I'm not saying that as a selfish way, that we know that if we can bring one of their warm market in, that's going to yield a better result for them, for their success, right? It's almost being selfish for them, if that makes sense. So,
It does.
So focus on, even if it's a cold market, immediately digging in on their warm market, right? Immediately digging in on who they know, not necessarily within this industry, but across industries, people that would be great in any industry that they would attack. The focus is always just digging into where, because that doesn't cost anything.
Right. It's free.
One, it's free. It's free, and that's where most of the top performers, like, we always do a poll of people, in a meeting, where are all these people from? 80 to 90% are from the warm market of someone that
100%.
was already here. So it's like when it's hits you in the face, sometimes it's just like, well,
I wonder why that stat doesn't drive. Does that make sense? Like,
I'm guilty
no
of
one
it.
should be doing anything. Like, explain.
guilty of
I
it.
understand, but how, if that stat is real, which I look at my agency, and I look at that stat and I go, that's correct. It's about 85+%, 90+% of the people that are making it happen have been brought in by people that were here. So people, whether they're my direct warm market or warm market of my direct warm market or warm market of warm market of warm market of warm market, this agency was built on the back of warm market.
Yeah.
But why does cold market appear to have more intrigue? Why do people look for mechanisms more than they go, hey, bud, what do you do for work? Are you interested in making some extra money? Like, help me. Maybe because I'm miffed.
And to be honest, so am I sometimes. Could it be a belief factor, Mark? Like, do you believe like you say you believe in this business? Because you cannot, for me, I guess, you cannot, when it's someone you know already, right? And someone that knows you, there's an intimacy with your relationship. And if you don't have a belief level and you don't believe, and you're not producing and you're not making any money, right? You're talking a good game on social media and it's actually not, the business is not working like it should for you. I think we have a tendency to try to not focus in on the people we know. Right. I know that was me when I first started in the industry.
Right.
I wouldn't bring anybody else to this industry when I first started because I wasn't making any money. Right. There was a belief factor, but I didn't see that in my checking account. Right. So why am I going to bring one of my friends over here and I'm not doing what I need to do?
Right.
So I think sometimes for me talking with some of the leaders, like, are we you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and when you figure out that, I think maybe that may be sometimes people's trepidation from bringing in warm market, but I mean,
more the reason to bring them in early, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like if we bring them in early, then we have a chance to get people started. Listen, let's do it this way, Omar. You and I, we built warm market lists. We've called warm market lists from the percent. Let's say you have 10 names on a warm market list. Let's just say.
Yeah.
No. Let's say you have 30 names and you call 10 people. You reach 10 people. How many of those people are usually interested in hearing more information or getting in class?
At least 50%.
That's enough. Because I knew what you were going to say, and I didn't talk to you about this. It's 50, 60%.
Yeah.
So out of 10 calls, 5 or 6, 10 people pick up. 5 or 6 of those people are like, yeah, man, dude, that sounds pretty good, man. What's that thing like? Again, another clue that this is the way in which we should be moving, and yet still decent amount of reluctance. I'm confused if I'm being real.
Yeah.
Makes sense? And hopefully this podcast can help some people because if you get 10 people on the phone, Omar, from a warm market list, 5 or 6 are like, yes, put me in class. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, brother?
Because it's a lot, for me at least, especially when I was building an agency, it's work.
No. Hold up. Yeah. Why do you think 5 or 6 people are in out of 10? 5 or 6 people want to get in the class out of 10. Why?
Because people are struggling.
They need money. And we do we not have an opportunity that provides money?
We sure do.
So now, at some point, it's got to. If it's not about your business, could it at least be about these people that need them, that don't know us, don't even know life insurance exists, but would be interested in opting into something that they could make some more money. That's not the typical thing that they may be accustomed to: waitressing, bartending, retail sales, whatever. Does that make sense?
It does.
Because at some point, if it's not about building a business, could it at least be about serving other people? I don't know.
Yeah. No. That's the target right there.
Right?
Absolutely.
Now I'll get to your other point, which is why aren't people doing it? You said because it's work. Now please expound, my brother.
So when I say it's work, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not afraid of work.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we're looking for the quick fix. We're looking for that licensed agent that got all for like 10 states for telesales. Looking for that guy. Oh, he already got all 15 states. Let me plug you right in. You can start selling tomorrow. And then, but you're also bringing in that person with their baggage, right? Like they done got some bad habits.
Right.
Like they looking for a job because they may have messed up another opportunity they had, right? Or they didn't, their resume looks great, but there's a reason why they're not making money.
Right.
right in this industry, right? So the process of bringing in someone that's not licensed is a process. Like you have to, to bring someone up to speed is a process. And if you don't have great systems in place, or if you're not willing to pour into someone in that manner, that could definitely be the reason why people love the cold market, the licensed agent, the person's rated, but instead of building from the ground up, like if you had the ability to build a perfect agent from the ground up, it's going to take a lot more work than bringing someone that it's a reclamation project. I can get them rolling. They already have their license, right. So, I look at some of the people within the agency. A lot of them are from different, warm market of mine, but also some of the people that come out the gates like gangbusters, or people that, I didn't know this was out here. I didn't know that this was an opportunity, and they figure it out. It's like once you can see their mind working. Like I've worked so hard, so many other places for peanuts, and I can put that work ethic here. That's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
well, listen, man, great stuff as always from you. Training day with my man Omar Mitchell, FFL Midwest. Thanks for sharing with us, brother. And
appreciate it.
keep building it. The future's extremely bright, and you're closer than you think, brother.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, man, listen, I talk to Mark Tiroli a lot of times, and I tell him what a great asset we have, in Tri-State and you and the team up here, man, and it's always much appreciated, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, my man.
Thank you. All right.
God bless. Thank y'all for listening. A lot of value in this one, brother. My man's dropping gems. Keep listening. We love y'all. God bless.